So, what's your favorite video game or video game series? Like, I'm totally biased in this area as of late, but go ahead.
I like all sorts of video games. I mean, I do like the Legend of Zelda series a lot. I love Metal Gear Solid. I've been recently getting into the Persona games, the Shin Megami Tensei, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
I like Harvest Moon, Animal Crossing. I really like Fallout 3. That was a game I got a lot of playtime out of recently. I like everything. I mean, I don't like to restrict myself to one particular genre or style or console. It's like, but yeah, I mean, obviously the big ones: Metal Gear Solid, Final Fantasy. I mean, not as much Final Fantasy as a lot of people, but just all sorts of games, really. I'm trying to think of what I'm playing at the moment. I'm playing The Sims 3 at the moment, which is, I don't know, I really like tedious games. I'm a huge fan of tedium in video games. If games require me to do basic day-to-day chores for hours on end, I'll be very happy to do that. Which was why No More Heroes appealed to me so much, because they basically had you doing odd jobs for about half an hour before you could get to the actual ass-kicking parts of the game.
They made the most of the actual
they were really surreal
controls. It wasn't just gimmicky. Yeah. It actually made sense, and it was fun.
I love No More Heroes. I can't wait for No More Heroes 2.
I can't wait for the sequel.
That'll be awesome.
I can't wait for the sequel. I saw a clip in the gameplay footage where you actually get 2 katanas, which should be awesome.
Yes.
You know, doing double whatever, combinations that you'll probably get. It'll probably.
I like the
really
roulette
awesome
system where,
yeah, the bonus Super Saiyan modes and stuff. Those were fun.
Like, I don't know if you know, but with the recently announced Zelda, like, you've probably seen the picture of him and the, quote, sword girl, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't start it, but they've started calling her Steve just 'cause, and it's kind of annoying, but it's kind of funny at the same time. So.
Who's calling her Steve?
Like, a whole bunch of, like, forums just started calling her Steve, and it's really weird, and people got confused, and they're like, oh, is her name actually Steve? Because that's kind of weird, but it's, I don't know, because they had, like, this thing where they were trying to name her, because they were tired of calling her Sword Girl, I guess, because she might not really be a Sword Girl, but it's interesting. So you've infected another series that I like, so.
I hope that's not my fault. I don't get the connection.
Dealing with it. I don't either.
I really like Zelda games. I mean, it's hard to define what the Zelda games are. I mean, I guess they're adventure games, or I don't know, but I mean, they're not role-playing games, even though a lot of people say they are for some reason. I've never understood the whole the confusion there. But the Zelda games are just great action-adventure games, and they manage to convey a lot of emotion with very little storytelling. They just tell the perfect story through like just imagery and the most basic storytelling effects. Like, I mean, Majora's Mask is heartbreaking. I mean, all over the place, and it's 3 days told over and over again, and it's just the same story, but the slightest change in detail is it's devastating. It's just, I mean, I consider Majora's Mask to be like the pinnacle of the Zelda series, in my opinion. I mean, I know it's a bit weird. I don't know, yeah. I mean, a lot of people said to me when they played Majora's Mask that it was rubbish based on the fact that it was just 3 days long. But if you go back and play, Ocarina of Time, that's just 1 day repeated over and over again. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times the day happens. It's still the same.
7 years apart. It's not like, it's not like you played 7 years worth of game. It just skips through time. Right. He goes off 1 day, collects the 3 jewels.
Well, I think it's the dungeons too, because Majora's Mask technically only has like 4 dungeons, I think, but they're really long dungeons and they're really hard and scary.
Half of the dungeon is getting into the dungeon. Half the other half is actually beating the dungeon and beating the boss. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're really, really long.
And the thing is, Majora's Mask had an overworld that I would like to live there. I mean, Ocarina of Time had a beautiful overworld. I mean, it was nice to ride around on Epona and stuff. And what was the new one? Twilight Princess. Twilight Princess's overworld was all right, but I mean, Majora's Mask, that was like a living, breathing universe that, I mean, I could have played just the town over and over again. I could have just explored that place for ages. It was awesome.
Plus, you have a forest.
It's mostly side quests, which, yeah.
You have like everything in walking distance: a forest, an ocean, a mountain, and
that freaking moon,
desert.
Man.
Yeah,
snow place.
Yeah, it's just like everything. You can go sledding any time of the year. You can go swimming any time of the year. You can go. I don't know what would be the forest.
And it's like, yeah, that moon is like an image that is unforgettable. As soon as you see that moon anywhere, I mean, they had a commercial for it. I remember when it was first announced, and just seeing that moon was haunting. It was scary. It was all kinds of things that you didn't expect from something like Zelda. It was just. It's weird. It's effective. It's a very affecting game, and I can't say the same for all the other Zelda games. As beautiful as they are, Majora's Mask it stayed with me. It was a great experience.
And it was a great atmosphere because each day it would be closer, and on the third day the ground would randomly shake. Yes. I mean, that was just awesome. Just the attention to detail. Especially when you're in a dungeon and you're inside and you can't see the moon, but you're still aware it's out there somewhere. Coming to bear down upon your doom.
You look at the clock and you're like, oh crap.
Well, excuse me, princess.
No.
Oh, that show is hilariously awful. I mean, it's.
I was lucky enough to not have ever.
It's very poorly written, but it's just entertaining in its awfulness.
And I entertain myself for a second.
If Link did have a personality, he wouldn't be like that.
He would not.
Just personal opinion.
My favorite thing about the Zelda series is that the first thing we heard Link say in an official Zelda game was meow.
What?
Oh, that was so cute in Wind Waker.
Yes.
When you're following that girl.
Yeah. So the first thing he ever actually said.
He goes meow.
Yeah, all the other times he's either yelling, falling, screeching, etc. But yeah.
Hurrah! Hit!
Meow. Is that when he gets electrocuted?
Yes.
Yeah. It's also very similar to the falling too far voice.
Oh, yes.
I like that voice.